I wanted to address a question that a lot of victims of grooming, narcissistic abuse, or sex trafficking get from people who have never experienced that kind of abuse. And it's a question that really tends to hurt a lot of victims because of the complexity of what kept them trapped. And that question is why didn't you just leave if things were so bad? So I created a graphic that kind of demonstrates the analogy I have created to explain why victims like myself didn't just leave. Okay, I call this the onion analogy. And hopefully this explains to people who haven't been a victim of this kind of abuse what keeps victims trapped for as long as they do. The onion is their prison. The victim is here at the very center of this. Each layer of the onion around the center is something else that is keeping the victim trapped. That can be emotional abuse, that could be physical abuse or threats against family members, feelings of shame, or maybe this person tried talking to someone previously and was told they weren't believed. These types of abusers very often make sure that the victims have lack of support or are completely isolated, so they have no one to reach out to. They often have financial control, so even if the victim does want to leave, they have no money or no way of getting out of the situation. And oftentimes the victim gets to a point where they just feel like they don't deserve any better. Their self-esteem and self-worth is so far in the toilet from all of the abuse from this that it's just adding layers and layers and layers. And it makes it even worse when a victim gets through some of these layers and tries to reach out for help and they're not believed, because that just adds more layers to the onion, making them feel more trapped and making it so much harder for them to get out. So for anyone that hasn't been a victim of this kind of abuse, I hope the onion analogy helps you understand what kept us trapped as long as we were in our situations and why. There's so many things that we are trying to break through to get out of those situations that sometimes it feels impossible.